everyone. Welcome to Monday night. You've been with us for a full 8 days for hashtag 28 days of health. How is it going for you? We had a check-in yesterday, an internal where am I at and what do I want to achieve check-in. Today, we're going to take action steps. Today is all about setting a proper routine. A lot of us feel like we are lacking any kind of structure within our day, and it seems completely outside of our reach that we would be able to follow a routine. I mean, am I right? How many of you guys right now are saying to yourself, have you met my kids? Routine? Are you kidding me? Shoot, I can't pull that off. Maybe you're saying, have you met my partner? Right? Or have you seen my calendar? What are you talking about? A routine. It is so worth your time. And that's kind of the idea here, is to make sure that we're spending our time in meaningful ways. Whether that is spending time with yourself, and how much time do you dedicate to yourself, right? So rule number one, and I know I keep throwing out these things. The one thing that I want you to do, and you're thinking, she's a lot of ones. She's a lot of do this, right? So the idea here is to create a routine in your day so that you can actually manifest the things that you want to achieve. By creating a routine, what feels like a laundry list of things you're supposed to get done, that you're supposed to pay attention to, fall into, what did we talk about on Saturday night? We talked about finding your flow. And so when you create a routine, what starts as structure can ultimately become your flow. We're going to talk about creating a life by design, the one that you create, the one that you design by identifying what's important to you and prioritizing the steps in which you're going to take to get there. You know, very often people will say, it's just so hard. I don't know where to start. So begin. Begin this, right? As they say, begin this. Get halfway through, start again, finish the second half, and you are done, right? That's the entire idea here, is simply to begin. That is the first step. It takes you halfway there. Begin again, and you are complete. This task you will have finished, right? So the idea here is, why do we need a routine, right? We've got to ask ourselves this question. Is a routine going to change something in my life? Are we going, maybe it's rude. Should I not have asked a question with a question, right? Or answered a question with a question? Listen, if you're talking to yourself, it's fine. If you're simply having a conversation with yourself, you can answer as many questions with a question as you want, okay? The idea here is identifying the need for a routine. It's identifying what tends to derail you from a routine. I made a joke about your kids, your partner. We could have joked about your job, right? But at the end of the day, the routine you're probably following right now is the one that's just trying to plug the holes, right? The routine you might be following right now is the one that is just to try to capture the chaos. And it's not a routine that's going to lead to more productivity, more happiness or joy or flow in your life. So we have to ask ourselves, what stops us from creating a routine? We know what we're supposed to do, right? And this is really the default mode of so many people. We know what to do, we don't do it, right? They often say that common sense isn't always common practice. And so sometimes we have to dig into the reason we want a routine, because we just can't do this anymore. What I really hope is that you're not finding yourself in that place where the thing that pushes you to find a routine is that you are literally at your wit's end. And the reason why is I never want someone to feel like they're coming from horizontal before they can ever be vertical again. Whether we're talking about creating a routine, We're talking about your health practices. We're talking about your finances, right? It is always easier to stay well than it is to get well. So I'm hoping that you don't find yourself at the end of your rope. But if you have found yourself at the end of your rope, I need you to tie a knot in that rope and hold on, because the answer to your flow may be in finding your routine. Now, many people say, I know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I'm totally going to do this. It's a new week, right? It's a new month. It's a new year. We often set these deadlines. We often set these target dates that's when I'm going to get started. And that can set us up for defeat. And I'll tell you why. Because inspiration is short lived, right? We get inspired to do something. We're going to take action. Tomorrow's going to be my big day, right? I often see this, whether it's in weight loss or a new program or exercise. They always want tonight off, right? We're not going to get started right away, right? Because I still want cheesecake. I still want to have a martini. I can start tomorrow, right? So we often find ourselves while reaching for an inspirational tone, we find ourselves often bargaining with ourselves as well, which is one of the things that limits our success in creating a routine, because ultimately inspiration is short-lived. And while there are things about you that motivate you, what we have to do is first create discipline. There's a reason I put these koans behind me. There's a reason I put a place in meditation or mindfulness or reflection, right? Because what I want to do is try to move past inspiration and motivation and start to create discipline. Because when you create discipline, and discipline will serve you very well. But often we feel like it's a have to do instead of get to do. And what I want you to feel like is that you get to live your life. You get to enjoy your life. You get to spread the joy, right? So that's what I want to create for you. And I'm telling you that a routine can do it, because that what started as inspiration moved into discipline ultimately becomes a healthy habit, and that will become your passion. So we need to kind of take that personal inventory we've talked about and understand that you already have a routine. It just may not be a routine that is serving you well, right? You likely have an alarm clock or something that initiates you waking up in the morning, something that says it's time to get going, right? There's something that you've created in your life that says you're either running late or you've got some extra time. From there, we have to think about all the different things. If you're still on the road heading to a job, or you need to be on a call at a certain time, you either know how long traffic's going to take, or you know how long it's going to take to get your coffee or make your coffee, right? So right now, I'm going to tell you that you have a routine. You just don't identify it as a routine. And so what I want to do is help you create an unconscious health routine, right? The one that is just as unconscious as the routine that you currently have. And we're going to move the needle in your health. We're going to move the needle towards better routines, better devices in your day, right? Whether they are devices that remind many people, like you've seen people put a rubber band around their wrist that reminds them that they need to get up and move around. A literal device, like a Fitbit or something that tells you, well, you need to get up and move around. But what we want to do is to create those sparks in our day where we anchor something in, where we say, oh, when I see that, this is what I do. And so we need to take that inventory, write down what a day usually looks like for us. And are there common triggers that remind you that you're going to take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out? Are there things that happen in your day on the regular that we could say that's going to be the object of my meditation, right? That's what's going to tell me that I need to do something. Now, right now, you may be saying, stop it with the meditation, stop it with the breathe in and breathe out. Have you seen my calendar? Have you met my kids? I just don't have time for that. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about that is that right now, what you're telling me, if you say that there's just not time, what you're telling me is that you feel like you are extra. You're telling yourself that you're being extra if you ask for that extra time, right? Or you ask for those 10 minutes of mindfulness or that 10 minutes of self-care, that 10 minutes of me time. What you're telling yourself unconsciously is that you're just being extra and you don't need to do that. So what I want us to do is also, this is maybe the second thing in my list, one of the things that I want you to do is appreciate that you are not extra, right? And the things that you feel like you have to do, we're going to create a get to do. And you get to spend time with yourself. You get to give yourself that time for breathing in and breathing out. Now, one of the reasons why this is important for your health and moving you into that 28 days of well-being and beyond is because the way you spend your day is going to dictate the health of your sleep. The way you spend your day emotionally, physically, mentally, right, or spiritually, this is going to dictate the health of your sleep, how well you're going to sleep, how well you're going to fall asleep. See, you are a little ball of hormones. You are a little ball of chemicals that are excitatory and inhibitory. You are a little ball of ups and downs. And when one goes up, another one has to go down. And what that means is that if you spend your day like a tight little ball, right, you're going to spend your evening that way. It's going your night, and it's going to take time for that to unwind, right? So what I think the most productive thing that you can do to create a healthy routine is to not wipe the slate clean. No one is served by trying to do a 180-degree turn and do it all right tomorrow. No one is served making 100% of the changes right here, right now. What we're served in doing is identifying that thing we can do, the thing we're willing to commit to, and then putting that into play. So, you know what we say about the universe chooses the path of least resistance. So let's choose to creating a healthy routine for you, the path of least resistance. And it's going to find itself not in your daily routine, but to overcome the obstacle that I just put forth to you, which is the way you spend your day will dictate how well you sleep, right? Let's make sure that to create that path of least resistance, we create a better nighttime routine for you so that you have a very productive day the next day, right? So we're going to follow up what might have been a tense ball day with a better day tomorrow for productivity, for communication, for feeling stable, for finding our flow. And the way you focus on this is not by ending your day with a list of things that you didn't get done. You end your day with a list of things you did get done. Too many of us are overwhelmed by the concept of my to-do list, the things I gotta get done, right? We're back to this concept of feeling overwhelmed or we didn't check enough boxes. And it's that unconscious thing that happens where you don't appreciate yourself enough to realize there's plenty that you did get done. So our first step to a healthy night routine for a better tomorrow and a better flow in our lives is to create a list, not of the things we still need to do, but of the list of things that we did do. Everything from an act of kindness, right? Everything from telling a person that you are grateful for them, for that that email that you got out, right? It only took 2 minutes to do it. You decided to take those 2 minutes and you did it. Congratulating yourselves for the things that you did complete. They may be things that weren't on your list. They may be things that weren't on your calendar. But something came in, you acted like a champ, you acted like a superstar, and you got it done. Somebody needed your help, and you were there for them. These are the types of things that I need you to write down because that's what you completed today. We pay too much attention to the things that didn't get done and not enough to the things that we did get done, how we made an impact in someone's life, right? So those are the things that I want you to write down. I want you in your evening routine, I want you to go to bed earlier than you previously had. Listen, you guys, if you've set an alarm clock for getting up in the morning, why are we not setting an alarm clock to make sure some kind of device, again, during the day that signals us that it is time to go to bed, right? So I want you to go to bed at least 10 minutes earlier than you were used to doing, right? So that even at the very least, what you can do is to spend that 10 minutes of time. And 10 minutes is no small thing in the day that you just told me you had, right? To sit and be quiet with yourself. Wherever you decide to do this, this may be snuggles with your partner, right? This may be snuggles with your pet. This may be alone time in the shower, right? But I want you to create something that allows you to take a breath in and take a breath out. If you decide to do this before you write down your list of things you got done today, so that you can feel good about your day and you can go to bed with a better feeling of what you did today, that's fine. The order here matters less, because what we know is that those that put a good ending to their day have better mornings. They have better night's sleep. When they are able to put away the day. I have a favorite way that I want you to put your day away, right? So I want to go back to my wall here. What are some things that you could set up, devices in your day that help you create a better routine, right? Be a you that you want to be. We've talked about telling someone that we're grateful for them, making sure that we use our words, right? That we, both verbal and nonverbal communication can help you do this, right? 10 minutes of mindfulness each day. There's not a formula for that. That formula is your formula. If that's in the shower, if that's quiet in bed, if that is an evening herbal, non-caffeinated tea, right? If that is the ceremony of creating your nighttime supplement regimen, perhaps you're using something like isotonic essentials turned down with tryptophan to help you fall asleep. Maybe you're using magnesium because that has been very helpful for you, right? But what I want you to do is to create something that is your quiet time when you are actually giving back to yourself, because we know that you're giving a lot to everyone else throughout the day. Perhaps your 10 minutes can become your 20 minutes or 20 pages of nonfiction, right? Maybe what you're going to do in this nighttime routine is to create something that makes sense for expanding your mind, expanding your knowledge. It may be really feeling like you're relevant and that what you're doing is worthwhile. So maybe you're going to read not ugly news, right? But you're going to learn something that you didn't know before. You're going to maybe look at something from a different perspective. Maybe it's nonfiction that you never thought that you would be interested in, and you're going to pick that up, right? Don't start with biochemistry. That's really hard. So one chore each day. This kind of a nighttime routine is so helpful for a productive day the next day. Imagine, if you will, waking up to just that little less of chaos, right? Waking up to this small step. How many times have we walked past something and thought, I'm going to do that tomorrow, or I'll take care of that tomorrow. I mean, right now, raise your hand if you have laundry sitting on the top of your dryer, because that's where you folded it, right? You left it there. How many of you, that's where your towels ended up, right? When you need a new towel, oh, they're on top of the dryer, right? So maybe for you, it's just that little bit of chaos cleanup, right? This one chore that you do each day that allows you to wake up to less chaos the next day. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like cleaning a bathroom, right? It doesn't have to be something like that. It just needs to be that thing that you push off and you think, I can just do that tomorrow. Do it right now. Because you're going to wake up and you're not going to have to do it tomorrow. It's a feeling of accomplishment. Whether you recognize it right now, what's going to happen is you're going to start to look around and you're going to start to feel like routine is not steps that you have to follow. It ends up becoming this flow. I've got things that do not include a nighttime routine, like 20 minutes of hard work, right, in a 45-minute exercise. I love this one for a sense of like closing out the day well, right? Send a handwritten message to someone. You guys, you are such a novelty if in today's world you were to send a handwritten note to someone. It could be a thank you note. It can be you've made a difference in my life note. But this is an absolutely brilliant way to close down your day. And you want to know why? Because it is an incredibly beautiful way to help someone else close down their day. I save 100% of the cards that I get, right? It does make for a little chaos, I'm not going to lie, right? I've got a box full of these things. But I will periodically read one of them. I will periodically go back and read something that someone hand wrote me. I just picked up one from Shannon Goodberry yesterday. She sent me a lovely message earlier in September when we had done a girls' night Zoom. And I just picked it up and I read this lovely note. And it is a absolutely fantastic way to close down my day. So if right now you're having a hard time figuring out how to close down your day, right? Perhaps you just want to look to something that someone else told you about why you've made a difference in theirs. But where I want you to focus your attention is on how to close down your day with these two right there in the center of our complex. List an obstacle you overcame today and list a virtue that you acquired. One of the more powerful things that you will do in creating a healthy routine for a better tomorrow is to take that time for yourself and end your day sharing kind words with those around you and listing and reminding yourself so that it is not unconscious and therefore not forgotten. What obstacle did I overcome today? And what virtue did I acquire? When you do that, even if you decide not to write the list of things that you did accomplish today, when you're able to anchor in how well you managed your day and how well you got through that. As they always say, even the hardest day, at the end of it, we say, well, I did it. I got through that, right? And list what virtue did you acquire? What lesson did you learn? What new tip, what knowledge came to you? Did you share that? And do you have the possibility to share that with someone? When we end our nights like this, when we create that space of well-being like this, we sleep better, we wake up in a better mood, we're able to share where this whole conversation started, inspiration. What gets you to move the needle in your 28 days of health? Something inspired you to join us. Keep that inspiration going by lighting a spark for someone else. You guys, thank you for spending day number 8 of your 28 days of health with me. Do not forget to comment down below. As you know, I go in and answer questions that are popping up. Make sure to share this video on your own social media pages. Make sure to create your own posts with 28 days of health. Like I said, your walks at night, we want to see pictures of that. If you want to send, if you want to post on your social media page a picture of your journal where you write down the obstacle that you overcame and the virtue, the skill that you acquired, right? And you want to just simply tag 28 days of health and get other people to say, what is that? Creating a healthy routine. Get people involved because you can be that spark that inspires another person to make change. Until I get to see you again tomorrow, go be healthy, go be brilliant.